So, this is our last session on the webinar series, which we are going to talk more about the top, current trending in the technology world, mostly about the AI vector databases. So, to start with, those who are joining the call first time today, MariaDB is like a 15-year-old company, and MariaDB founder, co-founder Michael Vendes, who we call it as Monty. He is the he is the creator for MySQL and MariaDB. So MySQL is a very famous MySQL is one of the very famous RDBMS databases, which is lasted for which is still in use for last 30 plus years. And once MySQL was acquired by Sun Microsystems and later it was acquired by Oracle, Monty founded MariaDB to follow the open source legacy and keep the MariaDB code as a open source. So to start with our company profile, MariaDB has two headquarters, one in Europe and one in USA, and we were like totally close to 200 employees who work around the globe, as well as MariaDB was used across more than 500 Fortune 500 companies, and MariaDB has a very good footprints in the open source ecosystem where MariaDB downloads hit more than 1 billion in Docker Hub, and as well as MariaDB is also a part of a default database in most of the Linux distros like Ubuntu, Red Hat, Ubuntu, Fedora, and these are the major customers who use MariaDB Enterprise, like most of the banking telco companies, especially in this region, the banks like DBS Bank, UOB Bank are one of our major customers for MariaDB. So today we are going to talk more about how MariaDB can help you within the AI integration of your databases. So currently, most of the MySQL dialects have different SQL dialects. Traditionally, application have to deal with multiple systems, one for transaction and one for analytics, and now a new one for vector, which is used for your AI workloads, and each uses different SQL dialects for dialects or a API, which adds more complexity and slow down the innovation. So what MariaDB tries to help you out with this, MariaDB simplifies all this together and all this three technology together in a single SQL interface. So you can, instead of maintaining a different operation needs, you can focus on your development and the new features on your AI applications. So with this help, with this MariaDB vector database, it will make your life more easier. So as currently MariaDB itself a pluggable storage engine where it already unifies the operations like analytical workload and OLTP workload in a single database instance. So for using analytical workload, you need to use the column store, and from today onwards, we are also releasing one more analytical database called MariaDB Exa. So that and all part of the same MariaDB Enterprise package. So you know, so OLTP workloads are the InnoDB is more focused on OLTP workloads, and for analytical workloads you can use column store. But now we have a new workloads for AI where it needs vector indexes to be created. So for to overcome that hurdle, MariaDB comes up with a vector database inbuilt. Starting from MariaDB 11.4 Enterprise Server onwards, you have your fast and scalable vector search as a part of MariaDB Enterprise Server. You don't need to install any third-party plugins or any other additional RPMs to cater your AI workloads. So this it is one of the unified SQL layer where you can handle the analytical and AI queries as well as your OLTP workloads. So this now helps you to connect your operational InnoDB workloads with the column store workloads. Now with that you can also enhance your AI use cases using vector dimension. So to start with, what is MariaDB vector and what is used for? In a brief, it is more like a much smarter document search. Each document is converted into a vector and stored in a vector embedding. When you ask a questions, the questions will be converted into vector, and MariaDB will find the closest document vector to the questions which you ask. So there are two types of models available in the market currently. One is a embedding and the other one is a generative model. So ChatGPT and Claudia, the most of the other currently the Gemini, all of them are generative models. It takes a prompt and then and generates mostly the correct sequence of responses for you. And embedding model is more like a generates a vector embedding for a particular prompt, and it will help you out to find the closest match as soon as possible. So what is this vector embedding? So from this simple diagram, you can understand what is a vector embedding. So whatever the inputs you give as a text, image, video to your embedding AI model, it will be converted as a output as a list of numbers, which is called as embeddings. So these points are multi-dimensional spaces, which can be used by your vector the AI queries for vector indexing purposes. So to explain more about what is this vector search, how it is different from your normal SQL query on your database, we can see from this slide. So in the normal queries, for example, in this case, right, whenever you try to select a table where description like a woman, like a keyword, saying here the keyword is woman. So when you try to find this keyword, it will always try to match a exact match in the normal SQL queries. But when you use this semantic search technique, this search technique understand the meaning and the context of the word, rather than just matching the keywords. So in this use case, right, so woman can be related to queen as well as man can be related to king. So queen is the closest match for closer to woman than king is queen is most closest match for a woman than a king. So, so the traditional databases can only find what you type, but MariaDB vector can find what you try what you mean. So that's how this semantic search will understand understand the meaning and the context of the words rather than just matching the keywords. So MariaDB has a native vector search capabilities allow you to act as a powerful and efficient backend AI frameworks. simplifying your development of generative AI application by unifying your data stacks. So MariaDB Vector is already part of the popular framework integrations like LangChain and Llama indexes. Spring AI also easily add the vector search capabilities like vector search capabilities for MariaDB AI. By converting your data types like text, image, audio into this high dimensional numeric vectors, vector search enables AI and machine will help you to build your AI and machine learning models very efficient way and also in a quicker way. So these are the recent benchmarking with the other vector databases which is available in the market. So all the test cases MariaDB vector database outperformed in the recall ratio. So what you call recall is in the sense of vector world is recall is focus on how many actual outputs which you are looking for. Imagine imagine you are searching for a there is a pile of fruits available. There are pile of fruits available. You know there are 10 red apples over there. But when you perform a vector search, it returns only 8 fruits and it thinks all are red apples. But in that the output which you got as a 8 fruits, actually the 7 are red apples and one is orange. So in this scenario, the recall focus is how many actual retables. So actually there are 10 retables in the pile of fruit, but your result set retrieved only 7. So that's how the re that's how you can get a you can evaluate your recall ratio. But if your vector search when you search for the apples, it retrieves all the 10 means it is almost reaching 100% accuracy. In all this recall ratio test, MariaDB outperformed the other vector databases which are available in the market like PG Vector and Quadrant. The index creation time in The index creation time in MariaDB is 2x faster than the PG vector, as well as vector search. Vector search, the recall time is also more 2x faster in MariaDB compared to the other competitor like PG vector or Quadrant. So this is another benchmarking with MariaDB vector against a PG vector for the QPS. MariaDB, from this chart itself, you can understand how MariaDB outperformed PG vector. So it is almost 10x faster than PG vector. So all this informations are available in our knowledge base, where the links are also shared in the slides. So you can go ahead and always go read through the benchmarking and what are the stacks we use and how we benchmark against the leading vector databases available in the market. So not only vector search or vector index capability, MariaDB also has a RAG inbox introduced in starting from 11.4 onwards. So this RAG is secure. It will be helpful to securely bringing the AI capabilities to your data. So it can help you to it will help you to scale your Gen AI integration solution and make it simpler for make your work more simpler and easy to focus on the development task which you need to do for AI instead of dealing with how you need to send a queries to databases that will be handled by RAG. So why MariaDB AI RAG matters? So if enterprise wants to adapt AI using their own data, currently Gen AI models cannot can hallucinate without a proper context. So to give you an example, uh, so if you write a prompt in ChatGPT asking your company's travel policy, obviously it will not have that context of the travel policy for your company because every company travel policy may differ. So ChatGPT will give you a inaccurate answer. But at the same time, when you upload your travel policy PDF in the ChatGPT, and when you ask the question, it will answer exactly. It will answer accurately because you already give a context to your LLMs. So that's how. So when you want to query your private databases, this RAG will be helpful to query your private databases to answer your prompts. Rock, so it will also help you to solve the complex setups. So it makes your life more simpler for your more the AI Gen AI application development. So this is again an example which I given in the previous slide. So this AI answers are grounded to your own data instead of your models guessing the answers. It will give you the real facts based on the context it gets from your private data. So the answers will be more accurate and trustworthy response. And it also works with your private customer data. So for example, if you are in a financial sector, you want to just identify how many how many how many customers bought a bubble tea today. So you just ask the question to your LLM. It will go and retrieve your private data, and it will give a more accurate answer based on the data available in your MariaDB database. So this is a high level process of how your RAG will be integrated with your large language models. So the documents are embedded and stored as a vectors in MariaDB database. So at the runtime, when you ask a question, the questions will be embedded and used to search as a vector embedding in MariaDB. And then the MariaDB will retrieve the top K values and then send it to your LLM for the generation purpose. So you will get the most accurate answer for your private data. So without this part, if you don't have this embedded stored in MariaDB databases, your your private data will not be available as a context to your LLMs. So it will always give an inaccurate answer, or it will give you a inaccurate answers. But when you have connected to your private data into your private data context to your LLMs, it will give you the accurate answers, as well as it will learn from that context. So whenever you go for a next if someone asks the similar questions again, LLM also capable of answering that questions. So these are the few sample customer use cases you can think of. So this will be helpful to build your AI applications to answer your customer support questions using your own knowledge base, and it can query your internal documentation for engineers. AI assistance with the complaints for the policies and regulatory documents, which can which uh, which can helpful to retrieve like thousands of documents which can be given as a context to your LLMs. So with the simple prompt you will get a answer what you required, instead of you are going and searching to hundreds of PDFs and try to find the answers. It when your contexts are embedded with MariaDB vector, you will get the answers very faster compared to the manual way. So in the financial services, it can also analyze the complaints document and answer the regulatory questions. So for the healthcare also, AI can this can help you to search the medical records and provide a patient data insights more accurately. Instead of we spend days to search for the records and find out the match. This application will the retrieval time will be faster, and the more manual work will be reduced using that. So why MariaDB RAG is more important, and why it wins? It is a one vendor and one stack, as we saw in the previous slides, right? So it is already part of your MariaDB database. You don't need to do something specific installation or some specific configuration to configure this vector DB to do that. As well as security security wise, we keep the data, instead of keeping the data in the third party libraries or third party tools. You can secure it you can secure it very you can secure it in MariaDB databases without much any effort, because you are already having a MariaDB databases deployed in your ecosystem. So you can make use of the current MariaDB database, as well as it will lower your total cost of ownership, because the existing MariaDB deployment plus RAG in the same platform. Performance wise also, uh, as we already shared the benchmarking, MariaDB performance is far greater compared to the other vector databases which is available in the market. As well as you don't need to do lots of configuration or plumbing work to make your RAG to work. It makes your life more simple, because you just use what you can able to use what is available in your current MariaDB deployment. You don't need to do anything special for this kind of deployments when you are using MariaDB. So the next part is what we are going to see is MCP servers, which MariaDB are which MariaDB offers the MCP server. But before going that, let's take a look into what is MCP. So MCP is a model context protocol. It is more like a building a universal information portal for your AI. So before MCP, if you want the AI to look up something on internet, like check your company databases or send an email, you have to build a custom or one of more complicated systems. For each task, you need to have each separate configuration, and you need to you need to maintain each configurations, and it is more on the you need to spend more time on how you are going to maintain the configuration and infrastructure for each different systems. So it is more like you are teaching a genius a new language for every single person they need to talk to. So when this will be more inefficient and risky, and it is also hard to scale. But with the MCP setup, right, it is like a standardized and secure. So this is like a universal API. All the set of rules and the external systems can use this plugin. So your actual servers and database and other tools can now all connect to this one standardized portal using this MCP server. So this will make your integration more simple, and it is very easy to scale as well. So what is MariaDB MCP server? So MariaDB also provides MCP server, which is already available for download in the open source version. You can able to download it and try it yourself. So this MCP server connects to your AI to your MariaDB existing database. Run both standard database tasks and advanced AI operations like semantic search and all other things. So it is and the normal database, or it also run the normal database operation queries like listing databases, fetching data, and it can create a vector store, and it will reduce lots of effort when you are trying to build AI application. So we are going to see what are the capabilities of this MCP server in the upcoming slides. So this MCP server is already integrated directly with the popular AI frameworks like OpenAI, Gemini, and so your teams can easily plug the AI into their existing MariaDB systems effortlessly. It also speeds up the AI development by letting developers add intelligent feature quickly using the familiar SQL APIs. The result the result is smarter applications and generate value for your existing data. So this MCP server is more like a gatekeeper. It removes the need for brittle and custom code logic for every single integration. The agent does not need to know SQL. It just need to ask a question. The server will handles the transaction more safe and secure way, and execute the execute the queries in a semantic way, and get a accurate result for the applications. So this MariaDB MCP servers are more like a gateway for your enterprise AI agents. So just think of your MCP server as some Java JDBC connector for your AI. So you don't need to do much effort. So just you can accelerate your deployment, and yeah, and it will help you to do the background jobs for you, like instead of you need to create a databases, and you need to create a vector store. For that, all this will be handled by the MariaDB MCP servers. So the so whatever we talk about this app builders, right? So whenever your developer wants to build an app using LLM models, a developer just enter a prompt saying that build me an web app to track my gym workouts with a dashboard showing the progress. So the AI front-end builder will generate the user interface and the necessary APIs. Simultaneously, the builder communicates with the MariaDB MCP server to provision the database schema, tables, and secure endpoints automatically. So there is no need of manual intervention, or you need to log in and create your create your schemas and tables and secure endpoints. It and all handled by automatically by MariaDB MCP servers. So there so once your prompt creates a code for your front end, the result will be fully functional. So your data back, your backend applications generate your application will be generated with the backend databases in the minutes. So this can be used with the current IDE tools like Cursor and Windsurf, even GitHub Copilot. So all can help you out with to build fully functional databases. Sorry, fully functional applications with databases and tables created in the backend database without any efforts from application developers or DBA. So these are the few capabilities of MariaDB MCP servers. So the database operations like list databases to discover all the databases, list tables to list all the tables and inspect the schemas, run SQL queries, and create new databases for normal database operation. When it comes to vector store, this MCP is also capable of creating vector tables and doing a semantic search, add documents, and list vector tables, remove vector stores. So, all this backend database related development work will be handled by MCP server. So the developer can just focus on the functionality, how to enhance the AI agents or AI applications more better. So this functionalities are not only limited to MariaDB Enterprise Server in on-prem. So MariaDB Cloud Database, which is formerly known as SkySQL. So all the functionalities about RAG, whatever we talked about vector databases, RAG, all this are currently available in our cloud deployments as well. So this can be used, and you can even try it out with the SkySQL free login. So you will get a 10 MCU units for free to try it out. So you can have a feel of how it works. This MariaDB cloud also it can work with most of the cloud vendors like AWS, Azure, GCP, as well as you can also deploy your replicas across the cloud vendors instead of keeping your replicas in a single cloud vendor. So to avoid the regional outages for the vendors, for example, the recent AWS outage, which caused outages for lots of heavily used applications like Slack, Canva. So to avoid that kind of global disruptions, you can deploy one replica in AWS and one replica in GCP cloud. This can be configured easily using the SkySQL portal, and it will be handled by the experts behind expert support team in MariaDB, as well as this MariaDB cloud is a cloud model is pay as you go model, which is efficiently for the people who were looking for more on cost. So as MariaDB always forerunner in innovating the new technology and new things in the database world. So we have a roadmap for AI as well. So currently we already have the MCP servers and vector retrieval enhancement and text to SQL functionalities. And in the upcoming releases also we are going to introduce the other few new functionalities for this AI related workloads. So the cloud API endpoints for serverless and full text search performance enhancements, and the advanced pre-processing and agentic retrieval pipelines. So there are lots of new features which are awaiting to come in the next major version of MariaDB, like MariaDB 12 and 12 plus. So to recognize all this great works for MariaDB on a vector, we recently got a MariaDB got a AI Tech Awards, the best innovation in open source AI. We MariaDB Enterprise platform won this award especially for this vector related enhancement which it done in the in this 11.4 releases. So that is more from me today. So let me know if you have any questions or anything else to ask. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Pandi.
Hi.
We have here from Sonal. How is MariaDB Enterprise Vector helping banks and FSI to balance governance and auditability with measurable gains in Gen AI accuracy or speed of insight?
Oh, this is one of the great question. So for auditability and other governance feature, we already have MariaDB already have a audit logging facility, and we have a table space encryption available. So that are the major auditing functionality and the security functionality which are available the in the MariaDB itself. So as I mentioned, this MariaDB vector is already part of current MariaDB ecosystem. So there is no need of special security for especially for this AI workloads. Whatever you are looking for, it's already MariaDB is already capable of doing that, and it was already well proved in financial sectors like banks, insurance companies. So that is the reason that banks like DBS, UOB in Singapore, which are heavily regulated and governed body in the world, are using MariaDB.
Yes, to add to what Pandi mentioned, to answer the questions, because initially Pandi, explained on how everything is under one roof. For example, online, OLTP workloads as well as analytical workloads, plus now vector search. Everything is run through one single MariaDB database, and that database is already capable of having this encryption, like Pandi mentioned, auditing is enabled, which is applicable for the vector enabled databases as well. So these capabilities are already pre-existing, we have added vector on top of it. So all the security compliance needs and encryption needs that today's emerging world requires is already embedded into our systems. Vector is an add-on feature on top of it. So all your compliance needs are already met with whatever we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kanti. Thank you, Paddy. We also have one from Shahiza. How does MariaDB ensure data security and compliance when deploying AI-driven applications?
Yeah, hope we have already answered that part. That is also similar to what about security and compliance.
Okay. We got one from Joyson. What are the performance benefits of modernizing existing, oh, sorry, I lost just a second, databases with MariaDB Enterprise versus maintaining legacy systems?
So, so this is also a great question. So, what are the performance benefits of modernizing the existing databases? It's it's more like you are consolidating your workload instead of having a separate system for each workloads. Like for AI related workloads, you have a different database, and for analytical workload, you have a different database, and for OLTP workload, you have a different database, and you just imagine the pain of maintaining all the different systems. So this this workload consolidation is already part of the MariaDB DNA. So that is the reason we have the pluggable storage engine which can serve multiple workloads for in a single database. Now we have this vector database vector search which is more capable of doing a semantic search compared to your normal SQLs. So this will obviously enhance your performance of your AI applications with all this like the RAG and then the other functionality MCP server with together, it will provide you a more high performance as well as less maintenance of your infrastructure.
Yes, additionally, the way we enhance our performance is, because of our intelligent, load balancing way, which means that MaxScale is able to help you with segregating the workloads according to their needs, right? So we segregate this write workloads to the write node and re-divert the read workloads to the read replicas. So at any point in time, the reads and writes are not fighting with each other. This considerably improves your performance, especially in OLTP, transaction intensive workloads. At the same time, all your replicas that you have kind of invested, they are all going to help you with all the read workloads. So the load is evenly distributed, that ultimately improves the performance. That is additional benefit which is only available on MariaDB Enterprise because of our tool called MaxScale, which is definitely have an edge over all the legacy systems.
Okay, thank you, Kanti. Thank you, Pandi. We also have another one from Narshahira. Can you explain how MariaDB Enterprise Vector Database integrates with existing applications?
Um, so how it integrates with your existing application? So as I mentioned, there is no changes in your existing code required because it is already part your as whatever you are going to do is you are just going to create a additional column for vector and you are creating a vector index for that column. So there is no additional overhead or additional efforts you need to put in for your existing application. So whatever the current enterprise data you are having, you just simply make it available to your AI agents or your large language models by just creating a new vector column for in that table.
So this is,
So
yeah, carry on, right?
yeah, so it is very simple way.
Yeah. So this is what Pandi just now explained from the infrastructure side of things. From the query side, as you have seen earlier, there is an MCP server which is now tightly integrated with MariaDB. So what is the use case for this MCP? As one of the slide explained, now today when you have a conventional application which has got only SQL queries, today it is very seamless to integrate that normal SQL queries along with the vector search, query, where clause and everything. So one SQL query can be altered additionally with the vector search as where clause and search as search argument. So it is a very simple changes from your application side, just modifying the query, adding the vector search components to it. And because of this MCP integration, it can be understood by the database as well. And the application changes are very, very minimal. That is how you will enable your existing legacy applications to vector enabled applications.
Okay, thank you, Kanti. Another one, sorry, I missed out to Null's follow-up question. So, from early customer deployments, what tangible improvements are you seeing? Faster insight retrieval, reduced infra costs, or better Gen AI accuracy after adapting MariaDB's vector capabilities?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, right. So obviously you will reduce your TCO, total cost of ownership, because you don't need another separate vendor or separate database to use your AI related workloads. You can use your current MariaDB databases just by adding the vector column to the tables. You are already making it to available for your AI agents to understand. So that's how it is, where it will be help you to reduce your infrastructure cost and also infrastructure maintenance. Maintaining different systems for different workloads, that overhead also reduced. And as well as the Gen AI accuracy, I showed you the performance graphs previously, right? Where MariaDB outperformed the recall ratio compared to the other vector databases like Quadrant and PG Vector. In that cases, even in, for example, if you take the PG Vector and all, it is a third-party utility you need to install, and you need to maintain that special utility during your upgrade and all other process. But in MariaDB, in the vector is not a separate entity. It is already part of the server. So you don't need to do something special for maintaining your vector databases, for maintaining, for upgrade or whatever the infrastructure activity you do for MariaDB server. It automatically applies to the vector databases also.
I think to add to what Pandi mentioned, the classic example of a standing example is from Crest itself, right? The product that you are today using, that EDMS, Electronic Document Management System. At the back end, we understand that it is using MariaDB's vector search. And that is where you gained the performance, and today it is much more efficient. The backend, ARM was MariaDB's vector search, we understood. So that gives the performance benefits for even this system called EDMS.
Okay, thank you, Kanti. I think for the last question, how does MariaDB Enterprise Vector Database differ from traditional relational databases in handling AI and vector-based workloads?
Yeah. So for this questions also, I have already shown you an example, right? So the traditional databases are designed to do a exact match search, but it does not understand the semantic matches. So in a short, a traditional database will find what you tell. So you just tell in the where class, you just mentioned where gender equal to male. It will just find the male. But when you are going to use vector databases, it will help you to find the meaning of that and the context of that what you are searching. So in the same example, when you use gender equal to instead of male you just mention man. It will find the it will find the values for male, man. What are the words you can relate it to male? All the context results will be shown to you. But that is not a case with our traditional RDBMS system. It will just match what exactly what we tell it to them. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Pandy. I think there are no questions left. We've already answered all the questions in the chat box.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right, right. So, again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session despite of your busy schedule. And especially to those who have been with us since the beginning. We truly appreciate your time and participation. And also a big thank you as well to Pandy for sharing our or such valuable insights on application modernization using Gen AI capabilities with MariaDB Enterprise Vector Database. And I would also like to thank Kanti. She's our database consultant in MariaDB for being our speaker from part 1 to part 3 of this session. So we hope you found today's webinar helpful and that you've learned how generative AI and vector search can empower your organization to modernize applications and unlock new opportunities for innovation. So if you'd like to know more about how CREST Info Solutions can support your organization with enterprise content management, database, and AI-driven modernization solutions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to continue the conversation. You could also follow us in our LinkedIn account, Crest Info Solutions. And once again, thank you for spending your time with us today. We hope to see you in our next session. Have a great day ahead and stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah.